they always let me do a little bit. So here are some of the questions that come up. Do we have a dress policy? The official stuff is on the handout you have with you to take with you. But we have to have a little bit of fun. This is Mondays. Blue and green wild jam Monday. And I want to point out that the Packers and the Viking live in harmony here at the Good Hills Middle School. We are very accepting of our neighbors to the east. I want to talk a little bit about something that I'm almost at the end of this journey on. I have children at the high school now, but I do remember these days. We have some tall 8th graders, we have some 6th graders that we hope you keep feeding because they're going to get bigger. But this was from a few years ago. I had to have a little bit of fun with this. Now, granted, Jacob, the young man on the left, I believe was the tallest 8th grader we had. And Elizabeth was a 6th grader. And were willing to give us those pictures. I think what goes on here in middle school, in their minds, really mirrors what you see there. There is a great amount of physical growth, but there is so much cognitive growth that takes place between the years of 11 and 14. They will come in still interested in pleasing you. They will leave not necessarily as interested in pleasing you. Sometimes I get the question, what should my child wear? What are the hairstyles? We have every hairstyle that has ever existed in the history of humankind here to go to Hills Middle School. So any way your child wishes to wear their hair, chances are we have it here, or we have it here right now. Boys and girls in a great variety. Sometimes it's easy to spot who the older students are, and sometimes it might not be easy to spot who the older students are. Max and Tom were 8th graders. Both Edward and Justin are in the same grade. Those two were 6th graders. Again, keep feeding them. Don't feed them once a day and you handle the rest. All right, that one's not quite so difficult to turn out. I want to echo some of the things that Ms. Knudsen spoke about a little bit. These are my 2 daughters who are now at the high school. And I have this picture in my mind as I'm thinking probably most of you do as well. I have this image frozen in my mind. It was a day when my younger daughter, there was a thunderstorm and she was afraid and she went in the middle of the night across the hallway and crawled into bed with her sister. If she tried it today, it would not go well. But this was back when they were 7 and 5 and my older daughter was still in a kinder, more nurturing frame of mind. A few years later, this is my oldest daughter. This is the technological journey that I'm sure you've been on, that I'm still learning as well. Your children will be getting one-to-one iPads in 7th grade. Not next year, but that day is coming for them. Here's my adventure on this. Might be a bad parenting story, so please don't repeat this. I sometimes in these nice, small, intimate settings like to bare my soul a little bit. I had an iPod Nano that my daughter quickly figured out had twice the memory, and so it had twice the number of songs on it. And so very quickly she thought she wanted to start using mine. And so she did, and she got to the point where she didn't ask. She would just go use mine. And I couldn't find mine, so I would start to use hers. It started out just fine because we both saw Mamma Mia. I grew up with 8-track tapes and ABBA on 8-track. But guess what was next on Dad's playlist that I forgot about? And after that was Aerosmith. And then she finally got to the Beatles, so this was good. But she ended up listening to some things I had forgotten that I had on my iPod. So that is my sort of tech parenting story, that you may have some of those stories as well. Then it moves into this next phase where she can't do homework without some tech device. And sometimes she can't do homework even without a couple of tech devices. An iPad and a cell phone or a smartphone or a computer and an iPad or all 3 of them. It's getting more and more information heavy. So these are some of the things that I saw, that I experienced with my children as they went through school, and particularly through middle school. They sought more distance from adults. They might be happy to see you go up to the cabin and leave them back home. They have more and more of their own ideas and more conviction of their own ideas, which is a good thing, but it is a change. They are more image conscious. My child, my older child, ended up growing to have a little more disdain for her younger sister. They still do well together, but there are times when she doesn't want anything to do with her. And things change in their friendships. My daughter used to be much more into soccer and volleyball, and they did dance as well. And through time, they ended up gravitating more toward dance and less to the field or court sports. And that meant changes in their friendships. Here's my last text story. My oldest daughter, I have a sister-in-law who has one of these. And she allowed my senior daughter to drive it.